Okay, well, hey there, guys. Welcome to the channel. I just wanted to let you guys know that I have recently upgraded the name of my channel to All Things Retro and More 39. It was Champ 39. This is the same channel that you were following in the past. And I wanted to talk tonight about a couple of collectible items which I have sitting here. You've already been getting a look at the one. And this is a Jeff Gordon 124 scale, 1996 Revell Collectibles, DuPont Automotive Finishes Chevrolet. It's the Monte Carlo, and it's still in the box. It doesn't appear to have ever been opened. You know, the box does show some little bits of wear and tear, which could be expected considering that this is 24 years old. And, you know, on the back of the box, it has all of Jeff's awards up through that. And this was coming off his 1995 NASCAR Winston Cup Championship, which was his first one ever at the age of 24. In his third full year in Winston Cup competition, you know, with Rick Hendrick and the DuPont team, they were really coming up. His rivalry with Dale was, you know, it was up and rising. And, you know, this one, now the car seems to mark that of some of the things that were on the 1995 cars. I'm zooming in right here on my phone. You can see on the back it has the Valvoline. They have sponsorship from Valvoline, which that was the last year that Hendrick Racing had sponsorship and used Valvoline motor oils. The next year they went to Quaker State, and in 1996, I remember a Quaker State commercial with Jeff Gordon about why they and how they switched to Quaker State. And I remember not only did Jeff's 24 DuPont car, but also Terry Labonte's number 5 Kellogg Chevy went from having the Valvoline to the Quaker State decal. Has the Coca-Cola logo on the back of the trunk. And to be honest with you, piggybacking on that Valvoline sticker back there, I'm actually quite cool with that, because here's the thing. For Christmas of 1995, my grandma bought me my first ever diecast cars. And this is right when I was first starting. I was 7 years old, and I was first starting to really become a huge NASCAR fan. At the time, I was a huge Jeff Gordon fan, a huge Dale Earnhardt fan. My mom and her boyfriend at the time got me some Jeff Gordon stuff, some Dale Earnhardt stuff. They got me a Kid and the Champ thing. Dale was the champ with his 7 NASCAR Winston Cup championships, and Jeff was the kid who was uprising. He had won 7 races in 1995, plus the Winston Cup points title. And, you know, he was going to be the next Dale on the circuit. And then, you know, my grandma on my dad's side, she and my grandpa bought me my first 3 diecast cars ever that Christmas. And it was Jeff Gordon's DuPont car, Darrell Waltrip's Western Auto car, number 17, and then Bill Elliott's Batman Forever McDonald's car. They were all the 124 scale, the larger of the 2 common scales, the other one being the 164 that were more of a pocket size. And that's one thing I remember fondly about it, was that Valvoline sticker there on the back. And I can still remember like it was yesterday, opening that last night. In fact, as a matter of fact, I remember on Black Friday in 95 going to my local Meijer with my grandma and grandpa, and Santa Claus was at the store. And I remember, you know, my grandpa and I having to wait together while my grandma went over and showed these cars that I showed her to Santa. And then I remember them sitting in the box under their Christmas tree. Grandma and grandpa, they always put their Christmas presents under their tree early. This is back when I still believed in Santa Claus. And so they would always, so I knew that I was going to get these three cars. Then when the night came and my dad took us over to Grandma and Grandpa's and we opened Christmas presents, that one was under there and I was really excited. And then came, about 2 or 3 years where every time I went shopping with my grandma here in town at some retail store, I could manage to con her into buying me a new car. She would sometimes say, well, we're not going to get a new car this time. You have enough of them. And that would always lead to me going to the toy aisle. And, of course, I went to where the cars and action figures were, and I looked at those. And eventually she broke down and bought me the one that I seemed to have the most interested in. But anyway, this is the 1996 Revell 124 scale DuPont Chevrolet of Wonder Boy Jeff Gordon. And now moving on to the next one. This is a little bit cooler. This is an Action 124 scale as well. And these were the best cars on the market. This is just a step above the Racing Champions right here. And the Racing Champions were the ones that were really just marketed as toys to kids. They were kind of like if you were if you were a kid in the 70s and 80s and you had an HO scale train set, what you probably had was Tyco, which were about the cheapest thing you could get, but they were good enough to capture your imagination. If you've gotten into HO scale model railroading since, you probably wanted something more along the lines of Athearn or Walthers or something like that. But the Racing Champions were kind of the equivalent of Tyco. We as kids in our 20s and 30s now have fond recollections of maybe having our favorite driver's diecast car. Back to the Action one. These Action things, they were really made as collectibles for adults. Where the Racing Champions couldn't have the beer and cigarette sponsors on the cars, Action could. And they generally weren't sold at Meijer or Walmart. And this is Jeff Gordon, Elmo, Sesame Street. Now, this also, it's a Chevy Monte Carlo, and it's a hood opening and trunk opening, as you can tell. I'll put the hood, I'll put the trunk down, and you can see it looks just like a stock Monte Carlo would look back in, between 2000 and 2007, which was the 6th generation body. In 2002, NASCAR used the Monte Carlo LS. Now this one, you can see this has got the very detailed chassis, the underbottom, the headers, the exhaust headers connect into the manifold. You look at the engine, it's got the steel air filter. Well, it is plastic, but it replicates the steel air filter above the carburetor. It's got the realistic engine mounts. It's even got Chevrolet written on the manifolds, which this is just cool as hell, man. And then the trunk, it represents the Monte Carlo LS, and it's got Elmo on it. And everybody loves Sesame Street, but that's the thing, is that, this car isn't a replica of one that was on the racetrack. It's just a representative of Jeff Gordon's charity that he represented, the Jeff Gordon Foundation, which you see back there above the word Elmo. Very, very cool. I'm glad to have it because, I've just never outgrown Sesame Street or Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Both of those are still very near and dear memories to me. So thanks for watching this, and I hope everybody has a wonderful night. Thanks.